Good morning, South Africa. It's 2:28 a.m. on a Tuesday, and this is 10 Minutes with Kuhle. So I'm your host, Kuhle Maseko, and here I am bringing that truth report fire to my personal channel. And today we're tearing into the ANC's latest circus, their so-called roll call near FNB Stadium in Soweto. So buckle up, because this is a masterclass in incompetence, corruption, and hot air delivered with a side of sarcasm. The ANC thinks they're flexing muscle for the 2026 election, but folks, this was a clown show, a chaotic embarrassment that proves they are out of touch, out of ideas, and out of time. Let's dive in and expose the rot. So these comrades dragged about 4,804 councillors out of 4,929 ward councillors, right? Plus, there were provincial execs, there were task teams, all that jazz. And in that dome were about 6,000 delegates. Is that impressive? You would think so, but wrong. It was a chaotic affair, full of singing, full of noise, disruptions, and the crazy thing was even the fire alarm went off when President Ramaphosa spoke. So, interesting thing was a bunch of leaders were there, such as Gwede Mantashe, Panyaza Lesufi, Frank Chikane, and the other uncharismatic dude known as our deputy president, Paul Mashatile. Now, Gwede Mantashe, he had to play school principal. He was scolding these clowns for ruining the roll call. He said this, by the way. What kind of leadership is that? There is no such leadership. He barked, damn right, Gwede. He's onto something. A dome full of ANC councillors should be their strength. But when they're howling like hyenas, it's a mirage. This is a party drowning in discipline issues. And Mantashe's red truth bomb can't save them. The ANC is a sinking ship, and they're too busy bailing with teaspoons. And a capitalist, I would say, ditch the collectivist attitude and all this nonsense and focus on the markets and rebuilding the economy and stop with this state-sponsored chaos. Then we've got Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, that real doers, whining about dangerous conditions for councillors, threats, attacks, and even hired killers. Please, Panyaza, spare us the sob story. Maybe if the ANC was utterly useless at delivering water, fixing potholes, or curbing crime, people wouldn't be out for blood. He lists the litany. He says water shortages, crumbling infrastructure, cable theft, informal settlements, sprouting like weeds, failing traffic lights, rising crime, GBV, and schools and hospitals on life support. That is the same, Panyaza, in the Free State, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, and anywhere actually in this country. Unemployment's the biggest challenge, he admits, and they need to attend collectively. Collectively? That's code for more taxes, more bureaucracy. That's actually killing the entrepreneurial spirit. Lesufi warns of legitimacy loss if they don't act. Too late, mate. The ANC lost legitimacy decades ago. Time for a libertarian shakeup. Less government, more individual freedom, and pro-minority policies to protect the real wealth creators. The crazy thing is, Lesufi says councillors' lives are in danger, and I'm going to share something very interesting. It was said, and this is an article, by the way, I think it's by the City Press or Sunday Times, allegedly 60 to 70% of councillors in the city of Tshwane are involved in crime syndicates. Imagine that. Even one of their ward councillors died because of a crime syndicate. And then you expect us to say that this is a dangerous job when your people are part of the gangs. How does that make sense? That is like saying stealing is dangerous because the police will shoot me. Of course. I mean, what do you expect, Panyaza Lesufi? Now, the cherry on this rotten cake is Cyril Ramaphosa and his big nose. I'm joking. He loves a microphone more than a hard day's work. He told 4,800 councillors to prioritize service delivery or the party dies. He says we might as well pack up, if we don't change the thing. Cyril, you've been packing excuses for years. He rants about stealing from the poor. He rants about factionalism. He rants about patronage, like he's not the poster boy for the ANC Initia. As councillors, you must take up this task or we're dead. He says dead. The ANC's been a zombie since 94. stumbling on liberation nostalgia. Chris Hani, Walter Sisulu, Oliver Tambo. Nice names, Cyril, but they won't fix a pothole. He's chasing syndicates, promising to nab them. Sure, just like you nabbed corruption. All talk, no action. As a conservative, I say, strong law and order. Protect minorities from this mess. Let's capitalists thrive without red tape. Ramaphosa's speeches are a waste of breath. Time to step aside for real leaders. But wait, there's their accredited service delivery action plan. The so-called war plan by Figlin Balula crows about visible fixes in 3 to 6 months. Depoliticize municipalities as if he says they should depoliticize municipalities. I can't wait to see this happen. He says we should fire bad managers. This does not sound like the ANC. This sounds like the devil trying to advertise hell as heaven. Now, he says we should hold public meetings resolving issues in 48 hours. Repair potholes, traffic lights, quarterly reports. Sounds like a corporate turnaround plan. Except this is the ANC, where promises are as empty as their coffers. They've had 30 years to sort this out. And now with elections looming, they're playing catch-up. Ramaphosa even says obstructive officials should hit the door or a window. Maybe he should lead the exodus. The chaos delegates wondering. No order shows numbers alone won't save them. Analysts say unity and discipline are key for 2026. Good luck with that. This is why we need a capitalist revolution. Cut the fat, empower individuals, protect liberties, not this failing socialist experiment. The ANC is a disgrace. Mantashe wants a renewed party. Good luck, my friend, polishing this turd. Lesufi calls being a councillor difficult with risks because your incompetence made enemies. Panyaza, Ramaphosa's all talk invoking history while the present collapses. Farmers, business owners deserve better than this. We need conservative values, family faith, free enterprise, flag. The ANC's bankrupt brand filed for chapter useless. And let's real leaders rise. Jokes aside, South Africa's future lies in libertarian freedom and not this ANC quagmire. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you make of the story. For me, this story is ludicrous. This is a story where I look through this. So Ramaphosa says, ANC councillors are dying. He says, ANC is on the brink of death. These are death threats. These are, because, and can I be honest with you? All these issues that they listed today were created by themselves. These are not the issues of the jobs. A death of the councillor is not part of the job of a councillor. It's not supposed to be a risk. It is an inherent risk that comes because of your behavior, because of what you've been doing as this nonsensical ANC government. So I don't feel sorry for you at all. I really don't. Folks, it's time to wake up and demand change. The ANC's done. Let's build a pro-minority capitalist nation that brings both black and white together. Please hit me up with your thoughts as well as comment below. Don't forget to sign up for membership. It's as cheap as 20 Rand. It really helps in keeping the channel going. As well as you can buy me a coffee if you'd like to support the work I do at 10 Minutes with Kuhle. I've been your host. This is all for today. See you tomorrow. Shalom.